What's going on, family? This is Breck Latney On Air, coming to you straight out of Gradwell House Recording Studio. The guest we have with us today is the multi-talented rapper slash producer slash engineer, Andy the Chef. Sir, welcome.
What's good? What's good? What's going on?
First and foremost, we asked everybody this. How you feeling?
Very good, bro. A little nervous. Like, this is probably my second interview.
Word.
So just a little nervous. Very excited. You know, we just recorded some. And thank you for having me, by the way.
Oh, thanks for coming on, man.
Likewise, man. First for all of us.
To kick it off, man, tell everybody a little bit about yourself. You know, where you began. From what I remember, we went to the same high school, and you were part of band. Yeah. And you went from that to where you are now. Just give everybody, clue everybody in.
Word. So a little overview is I moved around a lot growing up. I was born on Long Island. Then I went to Washington. Then moving back to Long Island, we stopped in Idaho. Then I was in New York. Then we moved to Pennsylvania. Then I was living in Pennsylvania for a while. 8th grade, I moved to Florida. Lived in Florida for a while. Then came back to Pennsylvania. I was living in Pennsylvania then for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So I went to high school, and majority of my life was spent in Pennsylvania. But I'm from Long Island. All my family's in New York. You know what I mean? So growing up, I was always interested in music. My mom actually has all the recording equipment that I use. It's my mom's equipment.
Yeah.
So she was always recording. My sister played instruments. My brothers sing. My brother's in the chorus, things like that. My 2 brothers started rapping and everything. So it was just always around me. So then sophomore year of college is when I first started making music, producing, engineering, rapping. So yeah, that's a little music overview.
So,
Right.
I mean, what came first? Was it the chicken or the egg, producing or rapping?
Producing for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my baby.
Okay.
That's my first love. Like, I fell in love with producing first. Then I made beats all the time. I had nobody to work with at the time, so
Yeah.
I just started rapping over my own beats.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, because you travel a lot, and that just reminded me about when it comes to music, and you also mentioned your family being very involved in music. So it just reminded me, I think I can say this for everyone, that we all had a song that we were introduced to that introduced music to us in general. Like, for
Right.
example, my first song I ever heard, and I was like, what is this concept called music? It was Outkast's Hey Y'all. That's the first song I ever remember liking and hearing. I was like, just loving it the whole time, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was that song for you?
Well, for me, it was more like so music was always around in the house, so I always just kind of knew music. But the one that actually made me want to start producing was that song that Ali was telling you about, Dirty Tours by Ant Bill.
Okay.
It was produced by Charlie Heat. That thing's just such a bop. Like, it's very fast paced, it's heavy, the kicks and the bass line and everything, the 808s.
Yeah.
And so when I first started making beats, I wanted to emulate that song. Like, I would listen to it and then copy it in a way over and over again, like with different styles. And that's how kind of I learned how to produce. I would hear something and then try to copy it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see your favorite basketball player and then you go out and copy his moves to get nice.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I did.
And that's how it should be for most producers. You know, a lot of people are afraid to copy someone's style or whatever. But, you know, once you've gone on the path and try to perfect something, you know, from a producer that you like, you end up falling into your own pocket of music.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I definitely relate to that. I feel like everyone has their artist that they look up to for sure.
Wow.
But being able to produce your music, rap over your music, engineer it, what part of the music creating process do you actually enjoy the most? Like you said, you fell in love with producing, but like, where do you stand today?
Right. So I'll tell you which one I hate the most. Engineering. Yeah. I hate engineering, bro. The mixing. Bro, the mixing, the editing, it's so tedious. Like, the only reason why I do it is because I have to. Like, it's either do it yourself or come out of pocket. Yeah. So with everything, you either pay with time, you pay with money, or you pay with, like, energy. Like, you know what I'm saying? You have to pay somehow. But when you're first coming up, some people aren't privileged enough to have all the money to pay other people to do their mixes. So
exactly.
I just figured out how to do that. But my favorite part is probably producing, because a rap is almost like writing an essay. You know what I'm saying? You gotta sit, you gotta think, like, okay, I gotta make it lyrical. Okay, now it has to have meaning. Like, sometimes it's work, you know what I mean? Unless, like, I'm freestyling and it's just coming to me natural, because sometimes you just get in the zone, like with anything.
Yeah. 100%. Okay. Sometimes you really are just trying to force out a lyric.
Right.
You know, and other times it's coming to you naturally, and, you know, it's just, it all goes smooth.
Exactly. And so I would say my favorite part is probably the producing, because you're really just focusing on, you're just really letting it come to you. Like, it's just music.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have words. It doesn't really have meaning. Nothing is set in stone until everything is done. So
do you have any issues with, like, trying to produce a beat and rap on it in the same day? Or do you try to wear a hat, like you're going to produce music today and preserve it? Because I feel like that's very important. Because I feel like people try to make the beat and they already have a vision for it and they want to rap on it that day, but you just end up coming up with just not quality. You know what I mean?
Yes. Sometimes people try to do too much. Usually what I do is, if I'm producing, I just produce. Sometimes, usually that's how it is. I'm either producing or I'm just writing, or very rarely am I doing both. There's like 2 songs maybe that I can remember where I've done the production right after I've done the lyrics and the rapping and the writing. It's only because it really came to me. You know what I mean? I work really off inspiration, so I won't force myself to do anything I'm not really inspired to do. So that's why I have a whole bunch of beats in my laptop right now that I still don't have lyrics for, and sometimes that's why I have a whole bunch of songs that are half done, because if I'm inspired to do it, I'll do it, and if I'm not gonna try to force it. You feel that?
It's crazy because 2019, I'm just sitting back. I'm like, I know who Andy is. Like, we went to school. All of a sudden, The City. All of a sudden, on one album. Couple months later, here's another album. This man's been working, man.
Yes, bro.
So, like, well, you've been holding back. Like, you barely had a social media. So what made the flip? Like, you went from not active at all to, like, pursuing this dream in music, and, like, you gave us your backstory.
Definitely.
But was like pursuing a college degree in said field let you know and give you insight on what you should do with this inspiration you have with music?
Right. Not really, because when I first started making music, I didn't take it seriously. Like, everybody, when you first start doing something that's kind of fun, it's like a hobby. So you just do it. If you're nice at it, you do it more. And so when people started telling me I'm nice, that's when I kind of started taking it seriously. So this is how it happened. Like, my brothers rap. So one time I'm in the studio, and I sat behind Logic Pro, and I was like, so how do you use this? I'm asking my little brother. I was like, so how do you use this? He showed me a couple things. Then I just started going every day to the studio, using it every day. The studio is just a computer, you know what I'm talking
about? Yeah.
But
next to the pillow on your bed.
So I started using it every single day. Then I would bring beats home, right? So I'd bring beats to the crib and be like, yo, Corey, listen to this. So my older brother would listen to it. He'd be like, you know you're nice if somebody gives you this is you? Like, you made this? So then I was like, yes. So then I started taking beats more seriously. Then I'm in college, right? Sophomore year. And I was undecided at this point. I went in undecided. I was undecided until, like, the end of my junior year. Like, that's so late. Way too late to be undecided.
Yeah.
But it's because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I started doing philosophy, psychology, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I started making beats. Then I would write a couple of songs, and then I performed a couple of my songs for, like, Ali and a couple of my other friends. Right. And they were like, bro, you're nice. You should really get on this. You should take this more seriously. So then I started doing it more seriously. Then I dropped The City for fun. I didn't know what DistroKid was, didn't know how to release music. I kind of figured it out as I'm dropping The City, because I just felt like dropping The City. Actually, how it happened was my mom brought up the beat in the dining room, because the studio was in the dining room of my house. She brings up the beat, and she's like, you should do something on this. I get behind the mic, and then The City happened. So then I'm like, yo, I kind of want to release this. I release it, and then on Instagram, you know how you can share a post to the story?
Yeah.
Mad people were doing that. I wasn't even expecting that, bro. Yeah. Like, 100% I was not expecting that.
I'm not going to lie. That's literally how I found out. Like, I was like, what?
I was like,
who's making music?
Yeah, bro. I was like, wait, they actually like this shit? Like, I was like, all right, say less, say less.
You know, with all this talk, it made me wonder, your family's very musically inclined, that's safe to say. How did you make the transition? You could have went to any genre of music. Could have just been a rock star, could have just been a pop star. How did you transition into rap? you know?
Well, I think it was because, how did I transition to rap? Well, I knew I didn't really want to take singing seriously because I could carry a tune, but I wasn't sure if I could sing like on some Chris Brown, Michael Jackson type wave. So I wasn't even going to try that because I wanted to be, whatever it is I wanted to do, I wanted to be super nice at it. And I was like, singing, like, you got to kind of be gifted to be like a good singer, like in the game. And so I was also a little shy back then. So I didn't want to do anything that was super critical, like people would judge me super hard if I tried to do.
Yeah.
So I figured rapping is a skill where if you're lyrical, like you can be nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I paid attention to the lyrics, paid attention to the message, things like that. And I listened to so much rap music. Like that's 90% of my library is rap music in my Spotify. So that's when I was like, that's kind of how I was nice, is because I would listen to it a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm soaking it in even subconsciously, I think. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like like if somebody's watching basketball every single day, they know which plays are nice, which plays are not, even if they can't even do it at the time. Because at the beginning, I wasn't even that nice. Like, I'm not going to hold you. Like, if I would go back to some of my earlier raps, bro,
pull them Jones up.
No, man, it's a skill. It's definitely a skill that's like a muscle that needs to be trained and grown.
Yes,
and just moving on to another question. Looking at your whole support system, also big shout out to Ali, because like world's greatest hype man.
Yeah.
Like world's greatest hype man. Just like with all the support you have around you, like how does that affect you into making music? Like there's obvious things to say where it's like, oh, you know, like I feel good, I move forward, I have people who tell me this is good, you know, and I can obviously see that with like Ali, you don't have yes men, which is like very toxic and like unfortunate to have in your group. So how do you explain your team?
Well, the support system is really good, especially if you don't have yes men, because they're going to tell you how it is. But everybody is also very opinionated. For instance, when I first started, my mom wanted me to sing all the time, but I wasn't really trying to sing. Some people, they're going to tell you things that they would like to hear, but not that you would like to hear. So basically, I soak in all the positive feedback, all the negative feedback. It's like, okay, that's their opinion. And that's also how I knew I was ready for the game, because negative feedback really doesn't do anything but bounce off of me when it comes to at least the craft, because it's so artistic that everybody has their own opinion.
That's true.
So I make music that I like. If you were to look at, for instance, my Spotify Wrapped for 2020, I was my most streamed artist for myself, because if you, for instance, cook a meal, you gonna eat it. You know 100%. What I mean?
Yeah.
Bro, I like that.
So that's just how it is.
That's a wonderful quote right there.
It was great. Yeah, that shit was. There's a soundbite right there.
If you make a pot of food, you gonna eat it. That's dope.
Eat that shit.
You can be like, it needs salt, man.
If I had to give like a real quick question, a little bit more on like your writing process. I mean, like how do you go about that? Like, do you sit there with your pen and paper and listen to your beats like as you go about it, or do you just, I don't know, traverse yourself doing something else? And, you know, like.
Usually, this is how it goes. Usually I hear beats and I have all my beats in my phone. So then I'll play all my beats in the shower. Like every single day, I'm playing them in the shower, freestyling, thinking of flows. So the first thing I do is think of a flow. Once I have this little flow without any words even, it's just mumbling and it's a flow. Then I'll go back later, not in the same day even, like 20 days later, and listen to the flows that I recorded on my phone so I don't forget them. Right. Then I put lyrics to them. Sometimes the lyrics come out as I'm mumbling, and then I go off the little lyrics that I said, things like that. So that's usually how it goes.
Okay. Nice. And that's something we call Timo S.O.Bet.
Timo S.O.Bet.
There was an episode when he was kind of explaining that process of getting melody out while you're rapping.
And then, like, I don't know if you do this when you write out rhymes, but I'll try to find a cadence first, and then try and find like the melody or the flow I want to address to it first. And
you'll kind of like mumble it.
Yeah, I'm not even dropping words. It's just like, Timo S.O.Bet, like, you know what I mean?
And yeah, that's Timo S.O.Bet. All right, so we got your song right here. It was 2 verses and 3 hooks. All right, tell us about that song before we go ahead and play it.
That was one of the few songs that I made the beat, and then I made the song right after. So I was just in the zone when I cooked that up. It really doesn't have a meaning. Right. It's more just lyrical. It's just the sound, just going for the sound.
Okay.
All
right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Andy the Chef, 2 verses and 3 hooks. Let's do it.
All right.
Chef be cook. Cause I got this joint turned up like Diddy Kong. I'm running it up like a pro. Do the dance like a marathon, but I'm running all of the dough. Got this joint turned up like Diddy Kong. I'm running it up like a pro. Do the dance like a marathon, but I'm running all of the dough. I got bills on bills, but I'm never ducking the profits. I just spend all of my dough and stack it back up like lasagna. I just go back and forth, hustling up the deposit. I'm ducking all of these. To believe me, just go see my roster. Stumbling, mumbling all of my words. The Henny, you do really work, you should try it. Shorty, she just got checkers on her purse, cause I wanna brains like a college. Y'all couldn't do this even if you tried and practice and tell me about it. Better than chef is impossible, so then again, maybe don't try this. I'll make it back to my bag. I might start popping by items that you never had. I might get back to the braids. I make it back in my ways, never acting a slave. I'm just gonna run till it's made, and if it don't come, then I'm going till I'm in the grave. I make it back to my old self. Dollars and dollars and talking my pay. Turned up like Diddy Kong. I run it up like a pro. Do the dance like a marathon, but I'm running all of the dough. Got this joint turned up like Diddy Kong. I'm running it up like a pro. Do the dance like a marathon, but I'm running all of the dough. I got millions of millions. So talented I could be getting it, won't even finish my sentence. Practicing up on my penmanship, I'm with that jiggly wiggly puff. Ain't getting big, I'm the big, That you did, you ain't did it enough. Finish digging your grave, you ain't dig it enough. I'm getting money inside of my pocket. I spend it all in a matter of days. But I'm getting money inside of my pocket, so it don't matter to me anyways. I'm a simple lad, if you really do the math. I'm up every single morning, bright early to the bag. I know if I'm ever slipping, then my brothers got my back. But if we ever catch you slipping, then my money is a wrap. I got this joint turned up like Diddy Kong. I'm running it up like a pro. Do the dance like a marathon, but I'm running all of the dough. Got this joint turned up like Diddy Kong. I'm running it up like a pro. Do the dance like a marathon, but I'm running all of the dough.
Give it up, guys.
Yeah, that's what it was.
You know, when we listen like to a lot of your music, even in person as it's being made right now, and I'm like I truly understand that you really like try to stretch the fact that you do more than just like one genre. You definitely are like in that term versatile, and I hear that every time I listen to another song.
Versatility is important.
Good looks.
It really is important.
That's something I pride myself on.
Yeah. I mean, it's important in today's music climate. Like, you kind of have to bring more to the table. You know what I mean? But just to go off of just the beat alone, we already talked about it, man. That was smooth.
Thank you, bro.
You know, the production was cool. It was, I love those 808s for sure. There was a lot of movement. The melody was good. It was consistent. But another thing that I really did notice when I had the headphones on is the little intricacies you had going on with the engineering and your vocals and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Word.
It was dope. I seen it. So yeah, man, I digged it. What you think,
Nice.
Rob?
Real quick, because I don't have much to say about it that you guys haven't already covered. All I want to do is just say something real positive and ask a bunch of like rap nerd questions. So there's real quick. My favorite part was the fact that the song just had momentum throughout the whole thing. As soon as it grabs you in, it just holds you there and it doesn't let go. And you forget that the whole song is like only like 2-3 minutes long. Like you want to replay it again because it goes, oh, it's over. Right. So now I got to restart. So now that I got that out the way, I was thinking about listening to the song. It was making me wonder from a rapper to another rapper, like just like, sometimes you'll write a bunch of lines and stuff, and you always have a line that just like sticks in the back of your head. You're like, oh, I know that Jones hard. Like mine's personal. My personal line is like, they're gonna call me Derek the way that I rose to greatness. Matter of fact, don't call me that. I never broke foundations. Like that's my personal favorite. Right, so it was like, what's your personal favorite? That's like my rap nerd's coming out.
My personal favorite. Okay.
He's like, give me a minute.
I don't know. I really don't think I have one. I really don't think I have one.
Dang, if it pops out anywhere, just throw it.
Yeah,
like mid sentence, I'm like, yeah, I like cat. Man, I know what it is. Like
he's like, bro, if you wake up at 3 a.m, just shoot me a text, bro. I need to know this. Like,
I'll let you know.
Whenever.
I'll let you know.
So that being said, man, do you feel like you're making the music you've always wanted to make?
Right now, no.
No.
I would always think so, but then when it comes to my beats, like I'll show my homies my beats and be like, "Yo, this is the best beat I ever made." A week later, I show them a new one. I'm like, "This is the best beat I ever made in my life." You know what I mean?
Yep.
And when I push barriers, like things I sing and things I rap, like and lines I write, I'm like, "Wait, I'm getting better and better and better." Some beats I have them in the vault because I know I'm not ready yet. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if I was ready or if I could do that, I would just flip on anything. I could just write on anything and rap on anything, but it's not like that yet. So I know that there's still room to grow, and I know that I am growing. So I don't think I'm making the music that I've always wanted to make, not yet.
Okay, and you got some. So we got 2 albums from Andy the Chef. We're getting some singles. You got some short term or long term goals for, listeners and fans.
Some short-term goals would be like, I'm trying to hit 1,000 on YouTube, bro.
Okay.
Like, YouTube is the hardest market to grow on, bro. I'm
really
still at
is.
480 or something like that.
Yeah.
I have music videos. Imagine being an artist, right? You shell out $400 for a music video. It's high quality. You travel to New York City. You get dipped out in your outfit like you're in front of everybody and you're recording a music video, right? You get back to the crib, you upload that thing, and you get like 200, not even views the first day, 70 views. Come on, son.
Yeah.
And I've had videos that I took with my phone, posted them on Facebook, right? 200,000 views. Didn't even try on them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So YouTube is the hardest one to grow on. So I'm trying to hit 1,000 on YouTube because then things are just growing. I can start monetizing things like that.
Yeah. You know what it is? Oh, excuse me.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that YouTube is just a super monetized platform. Like there's a lot of big wigs and upper ups that are just like, well, okay, we can get more views here, let's move it this way, and like it's a whole cycle where they choose who actually sees what you're looking at.
It has to be, bro.
It
has to be. I just had a homie the other day who was like, I heard Me Time, which is one of the joints on the first album. He was like a year and a half later, I checked YouTube to see what the numbers are like. He said still only had 200 views. He was surprised. I was like, yeah, YouTube just didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, TikTok, I'm uploading the same video that I uploaded last week, and then the views are going crazy. Like, it's crazy. So, but long-term goals, I want to have obviously a platinum plaque. I gotta have plaques in my thing, sold out shows, things like that.
Not to mention, excuse me, guys, but not to mention, I preach this all the time with every artist. It's just like such a frustrating truth, but we definitely don't dictate what pops off. That is the outside world to dictate that.
It's the market.
It's not up to us. Like, Kyle's I Spy blew up and he hates that song. Or Brendan
all the time.
Brendan Urie from Panic at the Disco hates I Write Sins, Not Tragedies or something like that.
He hates that song?
He hates performing it. He loved it at first, but that's all they asked for. They go, oh, play Tragedies or whatever. And, we don't dictate it.
Yeah, and John Bellion had all-time low, and he's like, "Yo, please
he
stop
probably
making me say low."
He does probably hate that song.
Wait.
Crazy.
I want that problem right now. I'm waiting for that problem. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I mean, it's just crazy because like in today's music business, like not only do you have to be able to make good music, you have to be able to promote it. And like, and that's the thing, man. It's like, well, I just want to put myself on Instagram. It's like, well, you got Twitter, you got Facebook, you got YouTube, you got TikTok, you got Twitter. It's crazy, man.
Yes,
so how do you stay sane keeping up with that stuff?
That's the thing. I wanted to delete my Instagram so bad, bro. Like if I wasn't Andy the Chef, an artist, rapper, whatever, I would have deleted my Instagram, deleted my Facebook. Like it's just so toxic to be on those social medias all the time. But I have to. Like I'm chained to it because I gotta promote myself. It's either that or I gotta go in the street saying, "Hey, listen to my music." It's so much easier to do it on the internet. You know what I mean?
100%.
So right now it's like I'm gonna focus on one. So I saw how TikTok goes from views to followers to listeners to like monthly listeners on Spotify to YouTube subscribers. The conversion is so high. So I'm done trying to promote on Instagram because it's just promoting to people that are already following you, people that already know you. I'm going to go heavy on TikTok and Twitter because it's all organic. You know what I'm saying? TikTok is a lot of organic reach. You don't even see advertisements on that website, on the app. You know what I mean? So you know that it's very organic and the conversion is high. So
yeah, TikTok is definitely taking over, man.
It's just choosing which ones to do in a certain moment.
Yeah, I mean, you can make a TikTok today and post something, and you might get 400 plays for some random crap. Post it on Instagram. You're like, hopefully, I get 10 views. Like
10 views, right, bro? I got 2,300 followers. How am I only getting 200 views on a video?
Makes no sense.
Makes no sense, bro.
It's ridiculous. All right, man. So that being said, would you mind saying your Instagram for the audio listeners?
Okay, word. So all my social media is Andy's Fine Ass. Andy's Fine Ass on Instagram, Twitter. You can even find me on Facebook. If you just type in Andy the Chef, you can probably Google Andy the Chef, and I'll just pop up.
Word. Is there a message you want to leave with fans or potential fans?
Potential fans. What do I want to say to y'all? Thank you for supporting me already. What else? Y'all the dopest. I don't know. I don't really ever have an opportunity to talk to my fans. Usually, like, I just give them my music and let them rock. And I hope you enjoy what I got coming next.
Word.
Thank you for being on the show, sir.
Thank you for having me, bro.
All right, guys. Y'all want
and thank you for being our first in-person interview.
All right.
That being said, this is the first installment. If you're an artist who wants to be a part of Breck Latney On Air, and you're in the New Jersey, PA, Delaware area, we're actually going to start doing in-person interviews. So definitely look out for that. Again, Andy the Chef, thanks for coming on, man. It was a good show.
Thank you for having me, y'all.
All right. Take it easy.